Hello everyone, my name is Mayorov Nikita, I'm International Grandmaster. In this video I want to share my knowledge on Pirc defense and how to play with black against the classical system. So classical system arises after the next move order. F4, G6, knight F3, knight F6, knight C3, bishop G7. Okay, or also knight to F6 immediately, knight to C3, G6, knight to F3, bishop to G7, and bishop to E2. Short castle and short castle. So this is a very interesting positional variation. It could be recommended for those players who don't want to um, remember long theoretical variations, sharp variations, and just prefer to develop pieces on the opening and to outplay his opponent in the middle game. Okay, so in this position, black has a lot of options, but in this video I will recommend you bishop to g4. This is the main move here. The strongest continuation for white is bishop to e3. So h3 is not so h3 is quite logical. The idea is to get bishop pair, but after knight to c6, bishop to e3, for example, e5, or maybe rook e8. Black has a very good counterplay. The next move is e5, and then again d5, knight to d4. With a, for example, knight to e2, or maybe g3, e5, d4, and knight to d4. This is a black's idea. Bishop takes, and after queen to d4, queen to e4, and black is better. Because this black square bishop is much stronger than his white's opponent, white square opponent. So remember this idea. This is a very good idea. Rook e8. It was played many times by such strong player and big expert in Pirc defense, Mikhail Gurevich. Okay, bishop to e3 is the strongest continuation. Knight to c6, and now queen to 2. So after h3, after h3 is there is no sense to play h3, because after bishop to f3, rook e8, we reach the same position which we analyze after the 7 move h3. Okay, queen to d2 is the best, and now if e5, the strongest continuation. So, and now for white, there is no sense to play this, because after rook a d1, queen to c8. So, despite the fact that the position is symmetrical, and yeah, black has a very comfortable game. For example, h3, bishop to f3, bishop to f3, and now, for example, rook to d8, then knight to d4, and black has a very comfortable position. Okay, d takes e5. It's not dangerous. The strongest is d5, knight to e7, and now rook a to d1. Yes, after h3, I think we we can play bishop to d7, and this is a normal move here. For example, after rook a, yes, okay, and we so I will so I will show you the reason is after rook at d1. Now this is very important to know that bishop to d7 is the strongest continuation. So in this position, this position is very similar to King's Indian defense, a classical variation, but the difference that the pawn is on c2, and in King's Indian defense the pawn is on c4, and this fact is very important, and this favors black's position. The point that in King's Indian this plan with c4 c5 is very unpleasant for black, and here for white it's a big problem. So here for white it is much harder to create a strong attack on the queen side. And for black this is a very typical idea to play b5 a5, for example, knight to e1, yeah, b5, f3, queen to b8, then rook to d8 and c6, and with and black has a very good game. So this idea with b5 is very important in this position, and from my point of view this is much stronger than this, because after this and then f5 it was played, it was met in the game of Yefim Geller against Mikhail Tal many years ago. I think that black has unpleasant position. Yeah, the reason that after e takes e4, bishop takes e4, this knight on e7 is very passive, and it's for black it's a big problem to to occupy the square with the knight and to improve the position of this knight. And this is the main problem in black's position. So, and now a few words about the second dangerous option, d5. Yes, here I recommend you. And here black has two options. First is bishop to f3. I think this is the strongest. And now c6. And now you have to remember that very important thing that after e4, this is a main idea for white in this position, how to struggle for advantage. Very important to stop this pawn move with a5, or the second option is queen to a5. And in both cases, black has a comfortable game. But very important to avoid this a5. So and in the middle game, the main plan for black to exchange these dark square bishops. And in this case, I think black has a better black has a good chances even to outplay and even to outplay white and even to get a positional advantage. And for white, it is better uh, to keep the tension and uh, to keep as much pieces on the board as it is possible.